Ever wondered why we have so many hair salons today? Well, it's because haircuts have been around since the dawn of time. In fact, did you know that the oldest known depiction of hair braiding dates back about 30,000 years? Now that's a lot of haircuts. From the ancient Egyptians to the flamboyant French aristocrats to the pompadour-loving rock and roll stars of the 50s, haircuts have been a significant part of our cultural fabric. They're more than just a way to keep our locks in check. They're a form of self-expression, a sign of status, and sometimes they're even tied to religious or ceremonial practices. And let's not forget their ubiquity. Whether it's a quick trim at a local barber's, a high-end salon experience, or a DIY job at home, haircuts are an integral part of our lives, shaping our identities one snip at a time. So buckle up as we take you on a journey through the ages, tracing the roots of haircuts and the stories they tell. Haircuts, believe it or not, have a deep-rooted history. They've been a part of human civilization since the Stone Age. Imagine our ancestors armed with sharpened stones or crude bronze tools, carefully trimming their locks. Though these early haircuts were more about practicality and less about style, they marked the beginning of a long and fascinating history. As we leap forward in time, we find ourselves in the era of ancient Egypt. Here, haircuts were not just a matter of style but of status and religion. The pharaohs and their queens sported elaborately braided and bejeweled hairstyles, while priests shaved their heads as a sign of purity. The common people, on the other hand, kept their hair short or shaved, a practical solution to the desert heat. Next, we journey to ancient Greece and Rome, where haircuts became an art form. The Greeks favored long, flowing locks, often adorned with gold and jewels. The Romans, on the other hand, preferred neat, short cuts, a symbol of their disciplined military culture. Barbershops in Rome were more than just places to get a trim. They were social hubs where men would gather to discuss politics, philosophy, and the latest gossip. Finally, we arrive in the Middle Ages, a time of knights and nobles, peasants and serfs. Haircuts in this era were a clear indicator of social status. Nobles flaunted elaborate hairstyles while monks shaved the tops of their heads in a style known as the tonsure. For the common folk, practicality ruled the day with simple, short cuts. Throughout history, haircuts have been more than just a fashion statement. They've been a reflection of the times, a symbol of status, and a way for people to express their individuality. From the practical trims of the Stone Age to the elaborate styles of the Middle Ages, each era has left its mark on the history of haircuts. From the Stone Age to the Middle Ages, haircuts have evolved and transformed, reflecting the times and cultures they belong to. The invention of the haircut, much like many other inventions, can't be credited to a single place or time. It's a fascinating interweaving of culture, necessity, and personal expression that has evolved over the centuries. The earliest evidence of haircutting or shaving dates back to the Stone Age, as prehistoric men and women used sharpened rocks and shells to trim their locks, primarily for practical reasons like warmth and safety. As civilizations flourished, so did the art and significance of haircuts. In ancient Egypt, for example, hair was often shaved off and replaced with wigs, a status symbol for the wealthy. The Romans, on the other hand, viewed haircutting as a rite of passage, with young boys typically receiving their first haircut around the age of 7. The cultural importance of hair and haircuts extends far beyond the Mediterranean, though. In many Native American tribes, hair length was a symbol of spiritual strength. The longer the hair, the more wisdom one had. Conversely, in certain African cultures, intricate hairstyles were more than just a fashion statement. They signified one's age, status, and even tribal affiliation. Fast forward to the Middle Ages in Europe, where hair length and style became a marker of social status. Nobility often sported long, elaborately styled hair, while peasants kept theirs short and practical. The Renaissance period saw a resurgence of long hair for men, adorned with ribbons and jewels, reflecting the era's love for opulence. The 20th century brought about an explosion of hair trends, each decade showcasing its unique style. The Roaring Twenties popularized the bob cut for women, while the 70s saw the rise of the afro, a powerful symbol of African American pride and identity. Today, haircuts are an essential aspect of personal grooming and self-expression. They're a way for individuals to express their personality, their creativity, or even their political beliefs. From the mohawks of the punk rock scene to the buzz cuts of the military, haircuts tell a story. They're a silent language, speaking volumes about who we are as individuals and as a society. Moreover, haircuts have economic importance too. The hair care industry is a multi-billion-dollar one. providing employment opportunities for millions of people worldwide. Hairdressers, barbers, and stylists play an important role in our lives, helping us look and feel our best. Haircuts, as we've seen, aren't just about aesthetics. They're deeply tied to our identities, cultures, and even our social status. They've evolved from practical necessities to powerful forms of personal and cultural expression, reflecting the complexity and diversity of human society. From the Stone Age to the digital age, the humble haircut continues to shape and be shaped by the world around us. Now that we've seen how important haircuts can be, let's take a walk through the Hall of Hair Don'ts, where bad haircuts are the order of the day. In the annals of hair history, there have been some truly heinous haircuts that have left onlookers in shock and dismay. Some are so outrageous that they've earned their place in the Hall of Hair Don'ts. Let's venture into this hair-raising realm. We begin our journey with the infamous bowl cut. This haircut, which looks like a bowl was placed on the head and anything protruding was cut off, was a staple of the Middle Ages. Though it was practical for knights as it allowed their helmets to fit more snugly, the aesthetic appeal was, well, let's just say it left a lot to be desired. Then there's the mullet. Ah, the mullet. Business in the front, party in the back. This haircut saw its heyday in the 70s and 80s, but why it ever became popular remains one of life's great mysteries. It's a haircut that screams, "I can't make up my mind," and the reactions it evokes are usually a mix of amusement and bewilderment. The rat tail is another gem from the 80s. Just imagine a long, thin strip of hair hanging down the back of an otherwise short haircut. Yes, it's as strange as it sounds. The rat tail was a bold statement, but not necessarily a good one. The reaction, usually a perplexed "why?" And who can forget the perm gone wrong? Perms can add volume and curls, but when they go wrong, they go really wrong. Think frizz, uncontrollable volume, and hair that looks more like a bird's nest than anything else. It's a hairstyle that can evoke sympathy, concern, and a strong desire to recommend a good hairdresser. But let's not leave out the faux hawk. This is a haircut that attempts to mimic the edginess of a mohawk without the commitment. The result is often a hair don't that makes onlookers question the wearer's decision-making skills. Lastly, there's the comb-over. Often sported by men attempting to hide a receding hairline, the comb-over can be more revealing than concealing. It's a haircut that can evoke a range of reactions from laughter to pity, but rarely admiration. Each of these haircuts holds a special place in the Hall of Hair Don'ts. They're reminders of how a haircut can go horribly wrong, and how important it is to choose a style that suits you, not just follow a trend. So next time you're thinking about trying out a new haircut, remember these hair don'ts and tread carefully. Haircuts from their humble beginnings have come a long way. They've shaped cultures, defined eras, and given us some unforgettable, albeit questionable styles. We've journeyed from the ancient trims of yesteryears, witnessed how haircuts have woven themselves into the fabric of societies, shaping identities and making bold statements. We've chuckled and cringed at some of the most outrageous hair don'ts that have ever graced human heads. The beauty of haircuts lies in their perpetual evolution. They're a testament to human creativity and our innate desire to express ourselves. They've been, and continue to be, an integral part of our lives, a silent language spoken through the strands of our hair. So the next time you sit in the barber's chair, remember, you're not just getting a haircut. You're participating in a timeless tradition, a personal transformation, and making a statement. Whether you're sporting a trendy buzz cut or a classic bob, remember every haircut has a story to tell. So, what's your haircut saying about you?